Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Can We Talk About It podcast, the podcast where we talk about what we want, when we want, wherever we want. And today we are talking about NFL star Antonio Brown. Now, this shouldn't surprise you, but it will surprise a lot of people because we hold athletes in this high regard when many of them are just little boys in grown bodies. Antonio Brown was extradited from Dubai back to the US on charges of attempted murder. Now, again, as I said, this doesn't surprise me because Antonio Brown's antics have been spiraling for years now. It was only a matter of time. He has lost all emotional control. And I'm going to take an aside here and say this is why it's so important to teach your children, but actually specifically boys, how to properly regulate and manage their emotions. Many boys are taught to channel their anger into football or into basketball, but when they don't have those sports, they don't know how to deal with it. And as many of us know, money doesn't change you, it makes you more of who you are. So you combine the fact that Antonio Brown does not have football, right? He was suspended, he had too many off the field character issues, and he has money, and you have a recipe for disaster. So here we are in this predicament where Antonio Brown is now back in the US. He's clearly not playing for an NFL team, but he will be brought up on charges of second degree murder. Now, TMZ wrote an article about this and explained that these are actually charges from a few months back when Antonio Brown was at a boxing event and claimed that he was being jumped and robbed, and so therefore he was just defending himself. Now, if a DA does not feel like they have enough proof for you to be charged, they will not charge you. But it seems that they have gathered some footage, they've gathered some evidence, they've spoken to witnesses, and it is indeed clear that to some degree, his reaction with a gun was unwarranted. Now, I have talked about these things in relation to other people, but let me say this. Your reaction always has to match the offense. And when people like Antonio Brown do not have emotional control over themselves, they don't know how to turn down the dial on their reaction. For example, Antonio Brown could have simply showed his weapon. He could have simply just said, "Hey, I don't want any trouble, man. Let's back off." Right? If he was indeed being robbed. Now, here's where I'm going to play a little bit of devil's advocate because none of us know what it's like to be a millionaire, a multimillionaire at that, and to have people jumping down your throat for money. Nonetheless, this is where being wise matters. Antonio Brown walks around without a security team, without people to support him. How do I know this? Because this is why he has off the field character issues in the first place. If he had people surrounding him, helping him make wise decisions, he wouldn't have been in this position in the first place. But you see, a lot of these people, when they get into the NFL, they surround themselves with yes men. And yes men let you continue the foolery that got you to have issues off of the field in the first place because the money's still funneling in. Now, I don't know how much money he has coming in now with his 14 baby mamas and children, but people are being paid and they're being paid to shut up and say nothing. So I know that Antonio Brown is making decisions all by himself. And that is like letting a toddler decide what to eat, where they're going to go, what to wear, whether or not they're going to go to school or not, what they're going to learn. It is utter madness. This is not something that we need to be doing with children or with adults. So this does not surprise me because Antonio Brown has been a long time coming. It was either going to be he was murdered or he was going to get into some trouble, and it just turned out to be this situation. It's really, really unfortunate because it's actually a really sad story. There's just recently another football player just offed himself after an altercation with police officers, a Dallas Cowboys guy, and I'll make a podcast about him as well. But it's really sad to see this because we have this false belief in the United States that money solves a lot of problems. But we're seeing time and time again that money is not solving problems. We see this with Shannon Sharp. We've seen it with Antonio Brown. We see it with Brett Favre. All of these people who just don't, they have character issues. They have character issues. These are not poverty issues. These are character issues. And that's a podcast for another day, because we have a lot of misinformed and misplaced belief in the fact that money will solve a lot of people's problems. Oh, they're doing this because they're poor. Oh, they're doing this because no. This is why you see football players, NFL players, NBA players still engaging in degenerate behavior, because money doesn't solve the root issue. All right, you guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.